Hello, I'm Jen with the Phoenix Theater Company. I'm here with Jodie. So, Jodie, you were a nun on our stage and then a Jewish matriarch. So, how
This is
about
true.
you say what you're doing now?
Now I'm on the other side of the stage, and I am privileged to be directing Tenderly, the Rosemary Clooney story.
Thanks so much. Uh, so, tell us about the story.
Well, in a nutshell, it is a nostalgically charming production of the story of Rosemary Clooney's life. And it's actually told through the device of her in her therapist's office and kind of going back, flashbacks and some flash forwards. And it tells just her perseverance, some of the very intense things she went through in her life. And it's all surrounded by her lovely cachet of songs, of music that she sang.
Can you describe the world that we're going to see, the set, and when it's kind of set?
The set is designed by the amazing Douglas Clark. It's in the Hards Theater, so it's a small, intimate space. And it's a mid century feel, very clean lines, kind of sparse, because this show has to transform into about 30 different places. So at the center of it is that doctor's office, her psychiatrist's office, because that's again kind of where the entire thing is based and then kind of goes to from there. So the band is on stage, which I love, and we're going to use them a bit. And everything else kind of turns into different locations.
That's my favorite when the band is on stage.
Yes, I mean, we're going to use them.
I love that. Can you please describe the main characters in the show?
The main characters in the show are Rosemary Clooney and the psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist plays about 12 different roles. So he's primarily the psychiatrist, but whenever Rosemary is telling him a story or reminiscing or describing something, the doctor becomes that person. So whether it's Rosemary's mother or her sister or Frank Sinatra or Bing Crosby or Jose Ferrer and a myriad of others. So it's quite a tour de force for the person playing the doctor because they get to really play a gazillion different characters. And it's a tour de force for the actor playing Rosemary Clooney, because it's Rosemary Clooney.
Mm-hmm. So, like you said, the show moves between therapy sessions and memories and performances.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you going to create clarity between those transitions?
Well, it's a very fast-paced show. And it, again, all of these little offshoots where she remembers something or tells him a story about something will kind of come out of that office. As well, everything else will just be kind of what they have, props that they have, costumes, things like that will all come out of just basically that office. So the doctor becomes, say, the mother by simply carrying a purse, which actually is a magazine rack. So so very, very simple things. So not full costumes, stuff like that. And I think that the little places on the stage will really be enhanced by the lighting design as well, saying, oh, here we are in the recording studio, and it will be defined by very pointed lighting, as well as the doctor's office and a myriad of other places.
It sounds like a big lift for the actors. It's going to be interesting to
It's going to be
see.
a lot. They're up for it.
They are. What do you think the biggest challenge is for directing this? Do you think it's that with the actors, like those transitions and making it clear of where we're at and that it's a memory?
No, I think basically the biggest challenge is casting well. And I have cast beautifully. So really it's finding those actors who can then handle all of these quick transitions and quick characterizations, and who can adapt to going from a song and then right into another therapy session. And so it's really casting well. And
Mm,
actually, the two actors and the understudies are just amazing, amazing actors. So I'm very excited to work with them.
mhm. And on top of that, they have to sing, so it's
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. They have to sing exactly.
um, so, in researching Rosemary, what surprised you most when learning about her life?
I think myself, much like many other people, have heard of Rosemary Clooney. We've seen White Christmas because it's just an iconic film. But above like knowing some of her major hits and seeing her in White Christmas, I think the bulk of Americans do not know all the tiny details of her life. And reading her memoirs and then doing a bunch of research and realizing she was a very complex human and went through really a lot of adversity in her life, starting from very young when her mother left. I think she was about 13 years old. Her mother left the family and left her and her sister with her dad, who was an alcoholic. And so starting very young and then continuing on, going, being thrust into fame and in the spotlight, and then having issues with addiction and alcoholism, and then overcoming that, and reinventing herself as a jazz singer in the 70s. So it's really, I was just thrilled to be able to find out all these details of her life, and now being able to honor her and let other people know all of the tenacity and her reinvention of herself. It's very inspiring.
Mhm. She's not just George Clooney's aunt. She has
Exactly.
a rich life.
Exactly.
Um, so what excites you specifically about this show?
I think well, I love her music. I was raised on old musicals with my mom, and I used to watch them. So the music, I know a lot of her music, and it excites me to bring that nostalgic charm to the stage, because I know I'm not the only one who enjoys her movies and her music. So I love bringing that. Like, I'm excited to bring my mom because she's a
Mhm,
huge Rosemary Clooney fan. I think as well, what excites me is working with these actors and finding all of those nuances, especially with that challenge of having a very bare stage and having to create all of these different places and people within seconds of each other. It's going to be quite a workout mentally and physically, and I think it's just going to be wonderful. And I'm excited to see what they create.
What are some adjectives that you'd use to describe the show?
Oh, charming, poignant, delightful, inspiring.
Okay,
Do you
that's a
need
good one.
more?
No, that
Like
works
more
for me. Um,
nostalgic, you know?
Nostalgic because of all the old, songs and
Yes.
music. Um, People might be surprised of how many songs they actually do know that she sang.
It's true, because many of her songs also, live on now in uh, the background of a commercial,
Mhm,
or you'll hear it in a movie even
mhm.
nowadays, because of how iconic so many of her songs were. And then people have done remakes of them and things like that. So yeah, they'll go, oh wait, I
Mhm,
recognize that, even if
mhm,
they weren't Rosemary Clooney fans to begin with. They
mhm.
will recognize many of these songs.
So Rosemary's Story includes, like you were talking about, mental health struggles, resilience,
Mhm.
reinvention. How do you think audience today will relate to her journey? Because there's a lot more talk about mental health and that sort of thing now than it was back in her
Yes.
time.
Oh, yes. Back then it was very, very hush hush, and she makes several comments in the story, actually, about, you know, uh, that going into a hospital is for sick people, and she's not. Um, even a mental stability institution. So nowadays, I think we are much more open about it. Hopefully, so I think that people will gather from this story certainly what is familiar to them or that they have experienced in their life with mental health or addiction. And pretty much everybody does somewhere in their family has somebody with those issues or those challenges rather. And so that will certainly be familiar to them. But also I hope they internalize and take away from the show the her ability to overcome those things and then reinvent herself into something else, because that's so inspiring. And I think everybody could use that right now, a little bit of inspiration.
Hmm. Inspiration, and it takes strength to deal.
Yes. Yep.
Um, what do you hope audiences will take away from the show?
Well, kind of what
Hmm.
I just said was just that tenacity, the
Hmm.
strength to go on or to reinvent yourself. And And I think we could all use a little bit of strength right now. And I think we could use a little bit of nostalgia and entertainment and a good time and a good smile. There's so many wonderful feel good moments in this show, to balance out, of course, those very real issues that she dealt with and and the real trauma that she went through. So there's a really lovely balance.
Hmm. I saw in the song list that they're doing Sisters, and I love that from
I know.
that season. I'm excited to
It's
see that.
so it's just iconic. Like you can't. I
Hmm.
don't think you can do anything about Rosemary Clooney without Sisters, and that's of course from the iconic White Christmas with her and Vera. Oh my gosh, I just forgot her last name.
Hmm.
Um, anyway,
Alan? For Alan?
Vera Ellen, thank you. That was weird. So that iconic moment between her and Ellen singing "Sisters in White Christmas," and I also had learned that, of course, they had to modify a lot of the dances because Vera Ellen is, of course, a phenomenal dancer, but also couldn't sing like
Mm.
very well at all. So I did read in a couple of sources that Rosemary Clooney actually did all of the singing. She did Vera Ellen's and hers, which means she was harmonizing with herself. I did see in a couple that it was actually someone else. So I'm not real clear as to if
Mhm.
that's the truth or not. But they definitely had to modify all the dancing so that she could dance next to Vera Ellen. So
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed in some of them she's like very posing.
yes, lots of poses. Even in
Lots of
Sisters, it's all about foot poses and walk around each
uh-huh.
other. And yeah.
Okay, so now we're at the fun flash questions.
Oh
So it's
yes.
like one word answers just to get to know you, icebreakers. Um, so first question, acting or directing, which do you prefer?
Acting. Been doing
Hmm.
it for a long time.
Yeah.
It's in my soul, but I love directing. I really do. But yeah, acting.
I think the probably the best actors, I mean directors are actors because you get that side as well as
I'm
the
not sure how you can be a director without being an actor, or at least have experienced it. I don't know how directors who have not had that experience are able to help actors find those moments when they're struggling. I think that helps
Mhm,
me so very much having an acting background to be able
mhm,
to help other actors. But I mean, there's a lot of directors who are amazing and do it. It's just, as I think about it, that helps me a lot.
mhm. If you could have dinner with one of the characters from your show, who would it be? And you have 2, so.
So I have to say, I thought about this a lot. I'd have to say it's got to be Sinatra for
Ooh.
several reasons. He's just such an icon for his time period. I mean, he was in everything. He was in movies and singing and the Rat Pack, to be able
Mm,
to pick his brain about that group of men who were in the Rat Pack. I understand there's a lot of misogyny going on there, but it would still be terribly interesting, I think, to be able
Hmm.
to have dinner with Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, that's
So
true. I forgot that Tony does all of the other people.
yes, he does all
Uh, so you had a wide range to pick.
a wide range to choose from.
Um, if you could transport any person to see your show, who would it be?
um, Well, my mom's already here and with us, thank goodness, still, so she will be here. I think that it would be probably my very best friend Scott Rosenzweig, because he and I grew up on White Christmas and on Vera Ellen and just all the old musicals, and we're both musical theater buffs, and I would love for him to be able to experience this.
Can you share a behind the scenes habit or superstition that you have?
Yeah, I thought a lot about this one. I don't know that I have one other than since I have started directing 6, 7, well, it's been a little longer than that, 10 years ago. I tend to always bring snacks for tech. I bring snacks for the crew. I bring snacks for the actors because I just know how long those days can be, and sometimes just coming into it already starting with bags full of M&Ms and Oreos and popcorn and waters, just kind of sets the tone for, hey, we're all here to do the same thing and make a wonderful production, and meanwhile here's some sugar.
Here's some candy. It's gonna be a long day. Here's some candy.
Yeah, it's going to be a long couple of days. Here's some sugar.
I love that. Uh, what book would you bring if you were stranded on an island?
This is a hard one, but this book meant a lot to me as a young person. Um, and I don't know why it has just always intrigued me, and I always think about it, is The World According to Garp by John Irving. I really like John Irving in general as an
Hmm.
author. And that book, I've read it several times. I saw the movie several times. I went back and read it again as an adult, and it just moves me.
Hmm. You can read it over and over. Cool. Tell us a weird fact you happen to know for no reason.
An octopus has 3 hearts.
Ah, I did not know that.
There you go. Now you do, but it's kind of useless.
It is
Maybe
kind of
in,
useless.
right? Maybe in a trivia game or something. Who
I
knows?
love
But
that. Now we know for Trivia Wednesday.
now you know.
Um, what is your favorite song in the show?
I really love Tenderly. Um, I like Hey There, and I really have a soft spot for Paper Moon as well.
Mm. See, I forgot she sang that. That's a good song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, what is your dream show you'd like to be part of one day, and what role would you want?
Well, I think that I would really, really love. I'm almost too old to play anything anymore, but I really would love to play Mama Rose from Gypsy.
Mm.
And I think I would still love to play Mrs. Lovett from Sweeney Todd. Although, that's some hard music. And, but I would love that challenge, and I love that character. So
Hmm.
those would be my
How
two.
fun! That would be really fun to see you as Mrs. Lovett.
I would love that.
Because the
I would
sweetest
love
people playing dark characters, I love that.
Yeah.
If you weren't a theater director or actor, what would you be doing?
That's a very good question. The only thing that I have found that fills my soul as much as being an artist, either an actor or a director, or really anything in theater,
Hmm.
is being a grandmother. I
Oh,
it's absolutely my happy place. And I know my husband always used to say, well, why aren't you like a preschool teacher? I did that before, and that was very fun as well.
hmm.
But it's a whole different thing just being a grandma. It's all about them, and it's all about how much fun can we have today, and It's so different from being a parent, which is just so much work. I loved it. I love my boys. I love being a parent, but being a grandparent, whole different ball game.
You get to fill their mind with all kinds of fun stuff and then send them home. I love
I get
the
to
same as
introduce them.
being a aunt.
Yes, I get to introduce them to theater and to
If
museums. It's the best.
yeah, totally. If your life were a musical, what would it be called? That's the last question.
This was a quote from my first husband who passed away, and he was also in theater. And as I was thinking about this question, I'm like, I'm not entirely sure. It would be a musical, and I'm not entirely sure what it would be about yet. But the title would be "It's Always Something and It's Never Easy." That's my title.
That's awesome. I like it. Do you have any last parting words for everybody watching?
Yes, come see Tenderly. It's going to be absolutely divine and delightful and delicious. Sorry, had to do that. And I think that it will be such a lovely stroll down memory lane with Rosemary Clooney's music. And you'll learn something about her too. I think you'll just have a fabulous time. So come join us.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.